You watch the domination, you watch the triple doubles, you watch the lockdown perimeter and paint defense and the ISO work, but you never saw the build behind it until today. From a Cooper Flagg concept to something that ascends beyond what Cooper Flagg is to reach his final form, this is the 6'10 anomaly you've been waiting for. Now, because of the love you showed across both videos, over 200 likes combined, I'm finally unlocking the build for you. Before we get into it, if you're rocking with me, drop a like, sub to the channel. We're only getting started. Here's the 6'10 anomaly, Cooper Flagg's final form. So the 6'10 anomaly is going to be at the small forward position, 206 pounds, 7'3" wingspan. If we go up on the weight at all, it drops our agility. And we want to be as fast as possible on this build because we want to be able to guard ball if we need to, play back end so we can switch everything. And also you can get the 84 perimeter, which you may want to use with cap breakers depending on takeovers you want to go for and how you want to customize the build, because you can go a couple different directions with this. With the takeover, and I'll explain how I did mine exactly, but there's some other ways you can go about it depending on your play style and what you're hoping to accomplish. Anyway, I went 206 to make sure I got an opportunity to get the 84 perimeter, and I wanted as much agility as possible. 7'3" wingspan is to make sure I have the 93 drive and dunk, which I obviously have 94 here. I also wanted to make sure I had the 87 mid-range because I get silver shifty shooter, which makes a big difference on, fades and snatchbacks if you haven't completely set your feet and, it turned it to a set shot specialist, a shot attempt. Also, I wanted to make sure I had access to the KD go-to shot. That's a big part of the dribble package, especially for 6'10s and up. So 87 mid-range along with the 93 drive and dunk, 7'3" wingspan's a real nice sweet spot where you can get everything you want there. Moving forward, I'm going to jump straight down to the physicals. We're maxing out the speed, maxing out the agility, and we're maxing out the strength, okay? On top of that, we're going to go 80 on the vertical, and you'll notice that the standing dunk goes up along with a few other attributes whenever you increase your vertical. Vertical is really expensive on a 6'10". It's surprisingly maybe the most, if not one of the most expensive attributes. So anyway, we go with an 80 here. The builds, the 6'10s who want to go 96 drive and dunk with the 85 vert, it's just really expensive. And I found that I can get so much more out of the build. Plus, the gold posterizer has been really proven to be the sweet spot for the posterizer badge this year. So I think we made the build perfect. Anyway, we're going 73 on the close shot to get the bronze paint prodigy. You also have bronze float game. I really don't use that much, but you do have that badge in case you're wanting to do some floaters. 70 drive and layup. I really don't feel much of a difference going with higher layup this year. It feels like 70 is a really good sweet spot where you make layups that you probably shouldn't be able to make, as I get an invite to a party. So 70 layup, Zion Williamson, layup style is great. And again, I make a ton of contested layups at the 70 mark, especially on a 6'10". So I love that spot for it. For driving dunk, we're going in an 88, and we're using 3 cap breakers to push it up to a 93 to get that gold posterizer, which again, based on all the different tests that 2K Labs have done, and even the anecdotal stuff from people like Joe Knows, they all agree 93 drive and dunk gold posterizer is the sweet spot for driving dunk this year. So we're able to budget, a lot more other attributes with the build this way. 52 post control, it's simply tied to other attributes. We are going to go to an 87 mid-range eventually, but we're going 82 for now and using 5 for cap breakers. But that'll give you, your dead eye on silver as well as your shifty shooter on silver. Once you go to 87, I'm going to drop this back down to a 73. And then we're going 80 on the 3 ball. You can go lower on the 3 ball if you want. It could change the name if you go down to a 76, but 80 does have a proven better make percentage than going like 79, 78. So I wanted to give myself as much of a chance to make my threes as possible. I would love to get, limitless range on this build, but you can't make a 6'10 with limitless range and 93 drive and dunk. So I wanted to have the 93 drive and dunk, and that's what I chose. Going to the pass accuracy. So this is a Cooper Flagg-ish type of build where I wanted to be able to run point, play lock, play back end, switch, on different assignments, potentially guarding even 1 through 5. if not at least 2 through 4. And again, we pulled it off with this build, I believe. So you can go 85 pass act. I'm using 2 cap breakers here to go to 87 because I do get rebounds on this build. I wanted to be able to throw the break, and there is a noticeable difference from silver to gold. You shouldn't do anything dumb with silver to gold, like with gold break starter. Let me say that again. You shouldn't do anything, crazy and take big risks with gold break starter. But gold is a really solid one where you get consistently solid animations on fast breaks. And I wanted to make sure I had that so I could throw those breaks along with being able to bail out if I, get into a dunk animation or a layup animation I didn't want. And, 85 pass accuracy is obviously the threshold for that bronze bailout. And then still get gold dimer with it and bronze versatile visionary. For the ball handle, I just went 75. You can go higher, but it doesn't unlock any new badges. It also does not unlock any new animations. It does change the build name though. So 77 ball handle. Also, if you had higher strength, would unlock Hall of Fame strong handle. But 84 is real expensive. And I didn't want to go that route with this build. I wanted to be faster so I can guard multiple positions. Anyway, we end up going 75 for those reasons. But again, we'll talk about it in a minute. You can go up higher on the ball handle depending on how you want to finalize the build to make sure that you're getting a different name if you're more interested in that. And we're going 68 on the Speedwell ball to unlock bronze lightning launch. Now, you also get Zion Williamson dribble style. I actually don't use it. I like the speed boost I get with normal dribble style going to my on-ball hand as opposed to cross-launching like you do with the Zion. So I wanted to take a second to actually get into my animations because I know you guys are going to ask for it. And I'm also going to show you the jump shot I'm using on the build. So pass style is LeBron James. 84, you unlock LeBron. I like his a lot, especially for like, full court passes or like half court passes where I'm kind of running up the court. It's just a quick flick. Even in the half court setting, it's like maybe my favorite pass style, especially for budget purposes. I think Tyrese Halliburton's got it by a little bit just because the passes are faster with Tyrese Halliburton, but LeBron's a great spot if you don't have 89 pass. Again, dribble style, I'm going with normal, which you only need a 40 Speedwell ball for that. But bronze does make a big difference on lightning launch, so I went ahead and put that bronze on there, but I didn't go Zion. Signature size up, you get Ben Simmons. It's decent. You go back and forth with it a little bit, and you can kind of like launch out of it or just combo into different moves because it kind of just gives you a second to size up. But if you have a lock on you, you'll get ripped, so you got to be careful using that. With the regular breakdown combo, I went with Victor Wembanyama. If you ever see me do that walk back animation that you're seeing here, that's Victor Wembanyama. And I use this a lot, especially when I get I'll drive in if I get kind of like stonewalled or, bumped with the immovable enforcer. I'll use this to back up and I can either snatch off of it. I can just stop and shoot off of it if I wanted to, or I can hit that explosive behind the back out of that. With the aggressive breakdown combo, I'm using Kevin Durant, usually just using this kind of initial animation that you see here where it goes tween, left to right, just like that. And that's just kind of something I like to mix up with the pro combo moves. Really, that's something that Glock 19 is kind of the pioneer of this year. And I picked up a lot of my stuff from him along with Hezi 2K for the bigger builds on dribbling. And then escape moves is basic. Using basic escape, which gives you that, that crossover 16 that, you really need to know how to use if you're going to dribble on bigger builds. You could do this on a 7'3" because it's basic, so it's like 25 ball handle, but that's how you do the crossover 16, where that animation right there triggers and you can cancel out of it by flicking your L stick down, or you can just run out of it. As long as you don't use your turbo, you can literally just run out of it, interrupting it. And as long as you get that first initial step without using turbo, it gives you a really clean speed boost, and then you could turbo with it. But normal dribble style is the one to use to get that speed boost out of it, which I prefer over cross launching. Okay. Combo moves pro, probably the best combo moves in the game for anything 6'5" and up. You get really nice moving with the ball. You'll see me do that a lot where I'm coming up the court and I hit this move right here where I, tween them behind the back, or a crossover behind the back, I mean. And you'll see me do the alternate moves too. This little 1-2, like cross to the tween, and then that one right there. You can get all kind of different moves you can combo in with the combo moves for pro. So that's a go-to for me for any build 6'5" and up. For crossover, going Giannis Antetokounmpo, maybe the best cross in the game, and comboing that with the Kevin Durant go-to shot is maybe the most killer move in the whole game. And you have to be at least 6'10" to do it, with at least a 74 ball handle and at least an 87 either mid-range or 3-ball to unlock Kevin Durant. So obviously we hit those thresholds with this build, and it's a big part of our package in terms of being able to run to the rim, and then you could just go straight into, a meter dunk. Behind the back, I'm using Pro. There's not a lot of moves you get anyway. You can get Kevin Durant, but Pro is way better, both for the standstill, which is that right there, along with the explosive that you saw right there, and even coming up the court, it gives you a really nice animation too. For the spin, I don't spin a lot with this build, but Kevin Durant I'm using for the spin. For Hezi, I'm using Kevin Durant as well, which gives you a nice little float out to the ball hand whenever you're not moving with it. And for step back, I'm also using Pro. There's Joel Embiid, which is not as fast. Giannis is not even one to talk about really, but use the Pro step back if you want to be able to snatch back the way you see me do it. And then for triple threat, I just like Michael Jordan with that one-handed pump fake. And then for the scoring moves, motion style, Anthony Davis is a really good motion style for bigs. Probably the best motion style you can possibly use from a speed standpoint on both offense and defense combined together. I don't use post shots on this build, so I have everything Anthony Davis out. Normal 2 hop jumper, though, I do use a lot mainly for cancels, but I also shoot out of it. Normal 2 is a very quick hop jumper animation, so you can use that to just, hop like out to the 3-point line. A lot of times if you're like, especially running to the left hand or like your non-dominant hand, it gives you a nice little walk back animation a lot of times when you hop out of it if you cancel it. And then spin jumpers, just using normal. Don't have a lot of options there. Dribble pull up, Victor Wembanyama is real nice. I was using normal too, but the one going to your off ball hand is kind of inconsistent and a little awkward to me. Victor Wembanyama is a real clean one. And then, of course, you've heard me say Zion Williamson a bunch of times for my layup style. With dunk style, I'll just show you all that too. For dunk style, I'm using just the contact dunks for 2 hands or for 2 feet, along with the athletic 360s. I'm using the windmill baseline reverses off 2, clutch reverses off 2. For 1 foot moving dunks, I got on quick drops. I got on the side clutches off 1. I got on flashy hangs, which are great for the city or the park. They give you a nice burst going to the basket. I also got 360s off 1. They just look good. And then contacts, of course, off 1. And then standing dunks, I have on the 2-hand under basket regular. I don't have the 1-hand under basket regular because those get blocked a lot. And then for signature dunks, I literally just have LeBron James and Zion Williamson on. For alley-oops, I got everything. So Pro, Elite, Zion. I've got on City alley-oop windmills as well as flashies and reverses. I've got Pro contact alley-oops and Elite contact alley-oops. And then for the shot, Marcus Morris senior base with Charles Bassey and Larry Bird. Full speed, full release, 97% Charles Bassey, 3% Larry Bird. Now we can switch back to the build. Interior defense, we're going 82. That goes, with the 78 strength. That's the reason we went 78 strength, is so if we end up going into a post score, we're not just going to be an easy, someone take advantage of us if they're not fully a post scorer. I wanted to make sure I could lock down the interior to some degree. Plus, you do get way better contests with a 80-plus interior defense, in my opinion. And I'm on a 6'10". I want to be able to protect the rim, guard, everything from the 3-point line down. So for those reasons, we wanted an 82 for better contests and to be able to get, good post lockdown animations. I'm cap breaking the perimeter defense 1 on this build from an 81 to an 82, gives you silver challenger. At 83, you get pick dodger on silver. And on 84, you unlock the mirror takeover. The mirror takeover, right? So, if I take this down to 83, I don't get it. Mirror takeover gives you a plus 15 to your perimeter defense, so you can literally run a 99 overall perimeter defense when you're in takeover, and obviously, ticks up each level progressively towards that 99. But right now, I have it at an 82 because I only use one of my cap breakers here. But again, you might want to go a different direction if you're more into perimeter defense with your 6'10".
and go to 84. But again, I'm right now I'm at 82. I'll eventually cap break it more. Maybe I might go ball handle if I want to change the name. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge once we get there. For steel, 73 gets you silver interceptor. I went 75. 75 gets you the better animations. 2K Toots, I've mentioned this in a couple videos now, did a test. He does a lot of tests, but he did a test on steel to show which threshold gives you the best interceptor animations. And while you don't get a different badge at 75 with the silver interceptor, you do unlock the same animations that 99 still gets you. So 75 is a sweet spot in my opinion. I also get a lot of blitz steals. Maybe it's my wingspan and my size, but I get a ton of on-ball steals with like blitzing and stuff like that. It's obviously a lot to do with positioning as well. And I do get really good lanes. So anyway, 75 steal. And then I went 83 on the block to use what I thought was just going to be one cap breaker to get to silver paint patroller. But I ended up using 2 cap breakers here to go to 85. 85 doesn't get you another badge, but I wanted to be able to viably run back end. And if you look here, once I go 85, well, hold on, I'll show you. Once you go 80 on your offensive rebound, and then eventually we go 79 on the D board. Once I cap break this to an 85, I'll show you the locked takeovers here. So there's one called Glass Warrior. And if you have an 80 plus on your offense, defense, rebound, plus 85 block, it gives you the plus 8 to each category: block, offensive rebound, and defensive rebound. So I'm able to walk around with it says right here, 91 block at level 5, but I'm at an 85. So actually I'm running around with a 93 block, 88 O board, 87 D board, and that's the takeover I ended up using. So you could use one cap breaker here, and then maybe cap break your perimeter up to an 83, and then, maybe you don't push your pass accuracy up to an 87 and put it as an 84 here, right? That's up to you how you want to mess with it, but I wanted to be able to run Glass Warrior take so I could snag boards, protect the rim, and, throw breaks, and that's how, a lot of the triple doubles I've been able to get, even though I only have an 80 and a 79 rebound, which, by the way, silver rebound chaser at the 80. 79, though, go back to 2K Toots. 79 unlocks the same animations you get at 99 rebound. You just don't get that badge. And I went 79 because if you see here on the offensive rebound versus the defensive rebound is a little bit more expensive. So I just needed to make sure I got the badge and the animation. 79 gets you the animations. Silver rebound chaser obviously gets you at the 80, you unlock that badge. So I was able to squeeze everything I wanted out of the build, especially with that Glass Warrior take. Rebounding is also the most expensive attributes on a 6'10", rebounding and vertical. So to be able to end block, really, along with standing dunk. And so with a takeover that could lift those up, I'm just able to operate like a true rim protecting, rebounding 6'10" while still being able to ISO, guard the perimeter, maxed out speed on this size, with the ability to shoot fades from mid-range, knock down the three-pointer at a high clip, and also 93 posterizer. I'm getting contact dunks. So this build is it's the closest thing to perfect I think you could possibly make on a 6'10", just for how much it's able to do and able to hit all these different animation and badge thresholds. Now, so if you make the build like this, it's a 2-way, 3-level scoring threat. But if you go back to the builder and you say, okay, well, let's just do a 73 steal. I don't really care about the 80, the 75, right? Just as an example. So we have something to pull from. You can go 77 on the ball handle. Let's just say put the rest into free throw. Go 65. It'll change the build name to a Swiss Army knife, right? Now, if I go 77, we're going to up this to a 71. It might be the pass. Hold on. Let's go here. Okay, so if you want to make it like this, where you make it a 77 three-pointer, you don't lose any badges, push up your pass accuracy to an 87, up your ball handle to a 77, and keep your speed with ball at a 68. I believe this will unlock the name Sigma, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you get the name Sigma if you go this direction. I really don't care for the name Sigma. I don't like Swiss Army knife. I don't like Sigma. So because of that, I kind of just stayed with what I thought was the best way to manage the attributes, which, as you already saw, my opinion on that is going to be 85 here, 80 here, and then 75 on the steel. Okay. So that, in my opinion, is the best way to make it. You could take it from somewhere else if you don't want to take it from steel, right? But, if you go up to that 87 pass accuracy, I'm not like, if I'm not mistaken, if I go 77 here, let's see. I don't think it changes the name to Sigma this way. Okay, so this way you get two-way diming 3-level threat. I forgot about that one. So I messed with this quite a bit, and I actually like that name a whole lot. When I upped the pass accuracy to an 86 for some reason, if you see here, if I drop it back down from an 87 to an 86 and just like pump up my 3-ball, it won't give me that name anymore, two-way diming, 3-level threat. But if you make it the way I made it with the 85 pass accuracy, when I upped it to an 86, and I was literally just doing it one at a time, it changed the name after I'd already made it to the two-way diming 3-level threat. But I was clicking so fast through it because I thought I had to get to 87 in order to unlock it, since that's how it works in the builder, that I missed the opportunity to take that name. So my name is still two-way 3-level scoring threat, not two-way diming 3-level threat, which I wish I would have accepted that had I known it was going to do that at an 86. So just a heads up on that. If you're wanting to make it two-way diming 3-level threat, you can actually make it like this. And once you go to an 86 pass ac, it will change the name and give you that opportunity. But if you click too fast like I did, you lose the opportunity to take advantage of it. And once I ticked it up to 87, it didn't give me another opportunity to take that name. So in the future, I'm at an 82 perimeter right now. I'll probably bump it to an 83 and then eventually to an 84 in case I want to run mirror. Or I might mess with the ball handle and just push it up to a 77 and see if it gives me another name like Sigma, which is probably what it would end up being. Or maybe I'll get some like cool name that, no one knows about or something else. I don't know. But 77 ball handle does unlock a different name on the 610s for some reason, like Swiss Army knife or Sigma. So keep that in mind when you're making the build and you're upgrading it. Thank y'all for all your support. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. God bless you all. I'll catch you on the next upload.